my parents that day and tell them I was going to Arkansas was one of the coolest moments of my life, and it always will be.
Hannah hits it! Hannah's will launch from way out. Wide now. Oh, goodness. That is anywhere inside the gym range.
What a terrific shooter this young guy is. Now he's talking trash to Ben Simmons at the free throw line.
Our next guest is a top 5 3-point percentage shooter in Razorback history. He caused Ben Simmons to wet himself at the free throw line, and he's always dreamed of being a Razorback. Dusty Hannis now joins the Morning Rush. Dusty, thanks for coming on, man. Everyone seems to be growing their hair out, growing their facial hair out. And I know back in the day, especially at Texas Tech, you grew your hair out a little bit. So can we expect to see long-haired Dusty back anytime soon?
Man, I've been getting haircuts still, which is, not everyone gets that luxury right now. But, just kind of had a close friend that's always cut my hair. So that's been a positive. But, yeah, I think I'm going to keep it normal for now. Maybe if this gets out of hand and it's a really, really long thing, I'll probably will.
Yeah, what's harder to get, brand name hand sanitizer or haircut right now? Or toilet paper? Maybe toilet paper.
It's probably harder to get the hand sanitizer, honestly.
So, Dusty, I remember when I was a freshman in high school and we were playing you guys. You were a 10th grader. The opening play of the game, you came off this double screen, NBA 3, hit it in one of our guys' face. And at the time, I was thinking, okay, this guy's probably going to play college or professional basketball. When was the moment that you knew or you thought that you had a chance to play professional basketball?
I guess just several moments throughout high school. At a young age, you never know because you're short and you don't know if you're going to be tall enough. But once I got into that height in about sophomore year of high school, I grew from like 5'9" to 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", and then once I got to that height, I knew I had a pretty good chance. Well, definitely was going to play college, but I thought I had a good chance in my own little delusional mind back then that I could play in the NBA, and then I just kept working.
Dusty, I'm sure you keep up with Arkansas. I know you're busy, playing professional basketball. How much do you get to watch Arkansas right now, and how much did you get to see Mason Jones and Isaiah Joe lead this team this year?
I'm close by in Memphis, so the schedule's a little different sometimes as far as like me playing. I'll have a game, and then sometimes they have a game. But if it's not, the schedules don't converge, I'm watching every game. So I caught a lot of games from my first 3 years pro. I missed maybe like 10 of them probably, but I loved watching Mason and Isaiah play. That was a fun team to watch.
I wanted to ask and just get some reference on how much you watched, because both of these guys making a decision, Mason Jones, and now we learned yesterday Isaiah Joe has filled out the paperwork to enter the draft. What's that process like? What should they be evaluating right now as they try to make the decision whether to stay in college or go professional?
I guess it just differs from person to person. When you're Mason, that's a tough decision as far as you have to come back and light the world on fire again if you're him with a loaded team, which would be kind of tough, So, in his shoes, it's tough to say. You can't really do much better than how Mason did this year. So, if you're trying to go while the hand's hot and if you can give yourself the best chance, maybe now would be for Mason. Now with Isaiah, I don't really know because I'm not hearing what GMs are saying and stuff. I'm sure they love him because his length and his shooting the basketball. They're going to love him. It's just this draft process now with the coronavirus is just it's a whole different ball game. So it's kind of hard for me to give someone pointers on what they should be looking for because it just changed so much this summer.
You've had a chance in the NBA. You've spent a lot of your or some of your time in the G League as well. What is life like in the G League? Because I think that's one thing you got to be thinking about is in college you got great facilities. It's charter planes. I don't imagine life in the G League quite has the luxury.
Right. It's a place that most players are going to have to go play in. Besides some of the elites, most everybody's going to have to touch that G League at some point, So I was blessed with a good situation in Memphis. We used the Grizzlies facilities, like the FedEx Forum is where we practiced, and we played in the Lander Center, which is like 10, 15 minutes down the road. But, yeah, the commercial flights, it can get to be a huge grind. I've heard different stories from other guys in the G League as far as, the working out at churches, that you hear some stories. So I just got blessed with, like, a nice situation as far as facilities-wise.
Speaking with Dusty Hannis here on the Morning Rush. Dusty, I know that you've talked with Eric Musselman. You've done a little shooting workout back in the practice facility when he took over as head coach. And I was kind of curious to see the relationships that would occur with Musselman coming in after Mike Anderson was fired. We played the clip coming in, how blessed you were to get offered and eventually come by Razorback, and how Mike was your guy who was the reason that you ended up at Arkansas. How would you say he's not necessarily patched it over, but he's kind of seamlessly flowed in and developed a lot of relationships with a lot of Mike's former players?
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have played for Coach Buss after watching how he coaches. I would have loved to play for him. He was open arms. He welcomed me with open arms as soon as he got here. We went and got dinner very, very early on. And, we're just able to chat and just been able to talk. And me and Courtney Fortson go work out and, play one-on-one. He comes down and he'll chat. So, just getting to pick his brain and get to know him has been cool.
Who won that one-on-one game, Dusty?
Courtney's won his fair share. And, he's probably up on the series on me right now. But he's probably one of the better defenders in the world, to be honest with you.
So one of the things that Eric Musselman's teams are known for, shooting a lot of threes, and that's only going to increase with the three-point arsenal that they've added with a couple of these different players. I was going through Hog Stats, different statistics last night, seeing how many Arkansas players over the years took the most threes, and I saw Pat Bradley took 24 games in a 3-1 time against North Texas. What do you think would have happened between you and Coach Anderson if you had shot 24 threes in a game, man?
I don't think that would have ever been possible for me. He would have for sure subbed me out after like the third straight one.
So, what do you? Obviously, everyone's dealing with coronavirus and COVID-19. It shut down the NBA, who was the first to cease their operations as a professional sport, which led to a domino effect with the NCAA tournament and a lot of other things. Where were you at? What was that like? What were you hearing? And do you think the NBA gets back in this calendar year?
It's tough to say as far as when it's going to come back. I mean, I'm hoping it comes back because I had 10 days coming with the club. And so when I heard it, it was just like it was a gut punch, like I was getting so excited to, get back up there. I just gotten 10-day and just came back down for a couple G League games and then got the word from my agent that, a different team was going to give me a shot. So, I was, getting very excited. And then, we get back from South Dakota and I'm watching that. I don't know if I was watching the Thunder Jazz game. I think I was watching something else, but then that popped up on the screen like that, Rudy Gobert could be sick in the back or whatever. And then I refreshed my Twitter and it says the NBA has been suspended. And I was just kind of numb on the couch. Like, wait, what? What just happened? And then, here we are. It's like, I don't know how long it's been since that day, but, just it's very unfortunate. I guess there's not many people that are profiting off of, these times. It's just, you can just add it to the list of, someone that's been, affected by this. So it's been tough. I'm hoping that we can, as a country, figure it out and get sports back. But, it doesn't, it seems grim right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. You've had a couple of, more than a few 10-day stints with Memphis and gotten called up. What's the big difference? I mean, obviously it's the talent level, but what's the difference that you need to develop in your game to be able to make a roster and stay in the NBA? What are you working on to achieve your goal?
Just the same things, everything. You can always become a better shooter. Just keeping my playmaking to, just keep it improving, keeping my defense getting better. Everything's gotten better. It's just as far as you need one person to believe in you. So, I feel ready right now for, I feel ready. Like off the bench, I think I can provide scoring that, 98% of off the bench guys can't provide you. So, just staying ready. And, this year was that those 2 days were going to really help me with this new team. But, I might have to go overseas. It's just the journey still goes. So I'm going to keep attacking it.
Talking with Dusty Hannis here on the Morning Rush. Dusty, what's it like to watch John Morant play basketball up and close?
Oh man, he's just so gifted. He plays the game with such a smooth style, but like it's also mixed with just supreme athleticism. Like just like his knees don't bend, his toes. If he lifts his toes, he's flying. So, to see that up close, it's pretty crazy to see when someone jumps that high.
What did you say to Ben Simmons back in 2016 in Bud Walton Arena?
Well, man, he kept like bumping me during the game. So like we weren't talking. I only really talk if a guy starts jabbering. Then it's like it's on. I'll talk all day. And he kept I kept walking into, like to set up the play, like go to my spot, and he would just like put a shoulder in my chest, like it wouldn't move out of the way. It just like bumped me, and after like the third time, I realized, he's doing this on purpose. So we get to the free throw line, and I just took it upon myself to start talking trash. And I think because he's from Australia, I remember being like, "You want to put some shrimp on the bobby, mate?" And then like some choice words after that, but I guess I can't really say all the words I said, but yeah, that was like the premise of what I said.
Have you publicly shared that story? I'm sure you might have been asked about it once or twice. I don't think I've ever heard you actually share the story of what you said to Ben Simmons back in the day.
I don't think I have.
Dusty, I want to go back to another memory against North Carolina 2017. I was so angry watching that game. You were a senior, a redshirt senior. I was a senior, about to go on my spring break trip, and we're watching this game. And at the end, there was a couple calls that go against you guys. Do you still go back and think what would have been? Because that team went on to win the national championship that year.
Yeah, just a very tough night, It's like even, months after that, like the whole first year from that game was, tough. Like even the summer when I moved back to Little Rock to start trying to get ready for whatever was next, like every time I kind of tried to not think of the game because it was a bad thought. I didn't like the feeling, the feelings that thought gave me. So I tried to like block it out. But the more, once I was able to reflect, I still haven't watched the game and don't really plan on it. But I just remember being so hurt. Like I remember the calls and just how the game felt. It was like we had it. And then once the Joel Berry charge play happened, I remember we ran down and missed the three, and it was like, wow, like did we just lose? And then they go on to win the Natty. So I just felt like we could have been a better seed that year too. I think when South Carolina, who went to the Final Four that year, got that 7 seed, I thought that should have been us, and they should have been the 8 seed. But you live and you learn. Hopefully that was helps build the foundation for Arkansas, and we can start turning this thing into a monster again. Yeah,
they always say the pain of the losses stick with you a lot more than the joy of the victories. Is that the game that sticks with you the most? That's the biggest thorn in your side, or is that not true with you? Is the winning, the top memories?
It's tough to say. I guess that that one hurts more than the wins. Felt good, but that's not to say the wins didn't feel awesome. When we finished out that home stretch of the season and I don't remember what our record was down the finish line. I think we were like 10-1 up until the SEC championship. But that stuff feels good. But yeah, definitely a huge thorn in my side was that North Carolina game. I used to hate thinking about it. I mean, still do.
Yeah. I want to ask you, you transferred from Texas Tech, came to Arkansas. Everybody knows that story, but now transfers are so commonplace in college basketball, and they're looking at reviewing the transfer rules and giving everyone kind of a one-time golden ticket to move schools. What are your thoughts on transfers and the transfer portal and the status of that in college basketball, knowing that you lived through it? I think you're a great person to ask.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just stuff happens that affects your career, So when a coach switches, yes, you committed to a university, but obviously as a student athlete, like your primary reason to go into a school most of the time is for the coach, So once you lose the coach, that's when you see most people start looking at transfer, and that's what happened with me. I lost Billy Gillespie. He was fired before I ever played a game for him. I played my freshman year for one of our assistants, and my sophomore year was with Tubby Smith. And then, that I knew that whole year that I was leaving. It just didn't feel right. So, I mean, the fact that they're making it where isn't it now where you don't have to sit out? Like, isn't it just free?
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Voting on it next.
They're voting
month.
on it soon to give you basically a free pass if you will one time.
Yeah, and I feel like they're going to pass that with all of with the stigma, the NCAA starting to, really get hit hard with that G League thing and stuff. Like people are starting to realize it's, a little unfair, I guess. So, I mean, I feel like that's going to get passed, and when that happens, it's kind of, it's kind of iffy. I don't agree with, guys getting to just transfer if they don't like it. I think there needs to be a reason. Like either your coach gets fired, maybe like someone's sick back home. Like I think there needs to be a reason, because if not, I think it's going to, turn into the Wild West. Everyone's just going to be leaping after every season. It'll be kind of weird.
Dusty, let me top off the interview with this, man. You and Daryl had a friendly rivalry while in school together. I know there was always joking back and forth. I'm the better shooter. I'm the better shooter. I'll let you settle this once and for all. Who's the better three-point shooter, you or Daryl Macon?
I mean, y'all decide that, man. I'm not going to comment on it.
Dusty Hannes, former Arkansas Razorback, currently with the Memphis Hustle in the G League this year. Dusty, best of luck to you this year, man. Hopefully we'll get some NBA back, and thanks again for making some time for us.
Yep. Hopefully so, man. I appreciate y'all having me.